Y'all, let me quit playing for YouTube dig me. Welcome back to booksxbritt TV. I'm your host, Britt, and we back with another video. Yay! Y'all, I'm so excited to discuss this video, this review with y'all, even though the book kind of disappointed me. But let me tell y'all something. I am a huge fan of Ashley Antoinette's. Like, the last 10 years, maybe 11 years. I think I read Motto Flame came out in 2012. But the last 10 years, this has been the series or author that I have really been like just excited to read all of her new stuff over the last 10 years, right? And I really have been looking forward to reading this. And one of the main reasons I actually started this channel was because I seen what Movie Flame, Harry Potter Folklore, and them did for the Harry Potter Twilight series and Game of Thrones, and I really wanted to do the same for Black authors. And I feel like my very first segue into it would be to discuss like two authors, Ashley Antoinette and Brenda Hampton. And I want to, but anyway, those authors are the ones I really wanted to like just expand on their books and create this whole thing around, right? So when I say I really enjoy this lady writing, I really do. Now, I was looking forward to this book, y'all. And you remember in my last review, Butterfly 4, almost 2 years ago, I said that because she did such a good job, an amazing, phenomenal job with book 4, that she could wait a year or two before coming out with this one, because I felt like we got so much information with book 4, even though my only criticism, one of my only criticisms was that I felt like we were at Ethic 7 versus Butterfly 4. And I feel like this book is Ethic 8 versus Butterfly 5. And I don't feel like that now. I feel like she kind of played with us, played in our faces with this book. I just don't feel like it was really Butterfly based on Butterfly 1, 2, and 3. I don't feel like it followed the same format, which is fine. Switch it up on us. Give us a curveball. Y'all, I'm hot. But that's one of my biggest gripes. Like, I really felt like I was reading Ethic 8 or Ethic 7, however you want to do it. This is part 2 to Ethic 7, right? So I feel like, my opinion, I can't rush the creative process, but I feel like she needs to come out with book 6 sooner than later, because I feel like this book didn't answer anything, and I just feel like this book didn't really answer anything except for if this that I'm gonna reveal at the end, if that was the big thing that was standing right there in our face, I kind of feel like that was bullshit, because I feel like when Ethic 4 came out, you kept on telling us that Messiah is one other thing that Messiah hasn't told Morgan, and him having cancer was not right there in our face. So, if what I said at the end, y'all, is the final reveal, I feel like that's bullshit, because that wasn't right there in our face either. But let's get down into it, y'all. Let me read the synopsis, and then we're going to continue on, okay? Where's the synopsis? I pulled it up. Whew. Hold on, y'all. Because I can't start without reading that part. Oh, y'all, I'm gonna tell you now, I ain't ordered the book. I ain't ordered a physical copy of her book from her website, because I'm impatient and I'm picky. So when I order something, I expect for it to be at my door 2 to 5 days, 5 at very latest. So I want a refund, because I'm impatient with waiting like that. So I actually read it on Kindle for the $9.99. All right, y'all, let's get down to it. I am so hot. Morgan and Messiah share many things: love, hate, lust, trauma, and children. They are bonded forever by the gift of parenthood, but Morgan's attachment to Messiah comes with immense pain. After the discovery of Messiah's condition, Morgan's conflict is intensified. She knows the healing the M&M bubble can be, but she also knows that Messiah has the ability to ruin her. Will Morgan finally take her second chance on her first love, or she make the hardest decision of all and let go of the past? Can Messiah come out clean after the mess he's made? Can he become the man he wants to be without hurting the people he loves? Will he be able to extend the forgiveness he expects everyone else to forgive him? Fuck no. Everyone talks about healing, but no one talks about the ugly part of the process, the part that requires separation and accountability. Can M and M restore their magnetic love, or are they forever lost on the pages? Join Ashley Antoinette in Ethic Land once again as she takes Ash Army on an intense emotional roller coaster full of angst, love, sacrifice, and family. Okay. Y'all, first off, let me say the synopsis was bullshit. I mean, that was kind of what happened in the... She could have put a little aside at the end and say, will Ethic and London be able to come back from the trauma of the birth of truth too? So let's get right into it, y'all. So the book picks up right where Butterfly 4 left off, with Morgan and Messiah discussing his cancer revelation. And she asks him to take off his shirt. She doesn't flee. Honestly, y'all, I thought Morgan was going to say, oh, that's how this fuck you and your cancer. Give me my son or bring my son to Ethic House. I don't want to have shit to do with you. I don't know. I thought she was going to leave his ass. But she asked him to take off his shirt. Hold on, y'all. Let me take a sip. I'm hot. Y'all, I'm drinking water. And I got me a glass of wine. I don't know what I poured, y'all. I just poured some out of the refrigerator. So she asks Messiah to take off his shirt so that she can inspect him. And she has a flashback to Butterfly 3 when she left her graduation to go have sex with Messiah in a hotel room. Of him feeling raised flesh and on him. But she didn't say anything about it. She just kept her mouth shut or whatnot. And, that's when she said, so who was with you? And he was like, what's it matter for? And she wants all these questions. She has all these questions of him. But Messiah is being a little grunt fish and won't tell her nothing. The same old stuff that he's been doing since book 2 and 3 and 4. I'm so over him and his bullshit. So they get a call. I mean, Nanny runs out of the house because remember they're on Nanny's porch, right? Waiting for Ethic and Alani to give birth. So she comes out of the house and tells them that there's an emergency and that Alani has been rushed to the hospital. She's like, she knew something was going to go wrong. Baby's supposed to be born in the hospital. And Nanny don't give a good goddamn. I feel like Nanny ain't never had no kids, right? I feel like she's just the aunt who's always took care of her sister's children or whatever. I don't know. That's just vibe that she give off to me, and that's why she has this strong, intense love for Alani, because she never had children of her own, which I definitely can understand it. So they get down to the hospital, and I'm gonna skip some of the dialogue. Ethic discovers that Alani has a DNR on file that she filed after the birth of love, after the birth and death of love. And Ethic is contesting the DNR because he's like, she was in a heightened stress or a heightened emotional state of mind when she signed it, right? Because she was already mourning the death of her live child, and she had just gave birth to a stillborn. So how would you think that this woman is in her right mind to sign this? So he like, fuck all that shit you talking about. I want to hear none of that shit. And he calls up his own people and have Alani removed from the hospital and taken home. And he's going to have around the clock medical care for her with this highly sought after doctor. I forget the doctor name, and her physician's assistant, Dr. Mara, right? And they go on to take her home to the mansion or whatever. But before Alani gets the kids, Bella and Easy, Messiah, Nanny, and the twins, they get there. And Morgan's like, let me clean this up before Alani gets it, because if she sees it, she's gonna have a cow, right? So after she cleans up, Messiah, while she's cleaning up, Messiah and Easy get the twins down for bed. And afterwards, Morgan tries to ask Messiah so many questions because she knows that Messiah is gonna try to sweep all this under the rug and not tell her anything. Y'all, I fucking hate Messiah. Let me keep on going. He's not going to want to tell her anything. He's going to try to sweep everything under the rug. So she wants to know who was there with him. What was your treatment like? And she was like, the only way you could not have her there with you is because someone else was there, another woman. And he was like, the fuck it matter for, because you out here fucking around with me, got another nigga playing dad and my kids, and is them kids even mine? Because they don't even look like they got an ounce of me in them. Morgan's like, what, fuck you off the hook. You ain't been around for 2 years, so let's keep it that way. And he's like, nah, Mo, I'm sorry, man, you just push button. Red flag number 1. I ain't finna count. And she was like, nah, you said that foul shit and I stand on it, whatever, right? So in the midst of them arguing, both Bella and Easy come to the door at separate intervals or whatever. And you know, tell him to back off, and then Morgan tells him easy to walk Messiah down, and Messiah tries to apologize, but she ain't trying to hear none of that because she can't believe this nigga saying this. It's crazy that they was over each other, that he would actually question her triplets, her twins, right? I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm always referring to the kids, the twins, as triplets because I know there was three. And I don't know why whenever people say twins, when I read that in the book, I'm like, but it's really three of them. It's just like I have all my cousins who lost like kids late term or whatnot. I don't know. I ain't finna get into that, but I don't know. I just be annoyed when they refer to the kids as twins instead of triplets, even though I understand about it. Just might be being a little person. So anyway, y'all, Lonnie comes home, and you know, Ethic and them was all wondering what they're gonna what's gonna do. Ethic struggles bonding with the baby, so Morgan takes care of True, and she's kind of got baby fever because she's like, you know, her twins was never this quiet. Ethic her twins was never this quiet, and like I said, Ethic has a hard time bonding with True. And then he discovers just how bad Alani's health condition was in order to give birth to him, because the physician assistant Mara, she's there around the clock, and then the physician comes in like once a week. I don't know. The doctor actually comes in, but her assistant practically lives in the Aquabar household taking care of Lonnie by day. And she tells Ethic, you know, she must have really loved you because she had like a lot of issues. Let me look it up, y'all, real quick. This is the best thing about this is the best thing about Kindle, y'all. You can just Google the word and it's gonna take you right there. Let me tell y'all, I love this condition. Hold up, y'all. Just wait a minute. I'm gonna tell y'all. Okay, so Mara's like, yeah, man, she has a hostile uterus, a weakened pelvic floor, and damage to the cervix from the stillbirth of her last child, and that it's a miracle she held onto your daughter as long as she did. She must have had incredible amounts of discomfort during her third trimester, right? So Ethan's like, oh my God, and Mara lets him know, man, you can't keep her on like this. She ain't really getting no better, right? Oh, spoilers all throughout, y'all. So he comes to the decision later on that, you know, let me just go ahead and take Alani off of life support. So when he decides to take her off life support, the whole family is gathered, and everybody's arguing about taking Alani off of life support, y'all. And Bella say, man, Morgan, fuck all that shit you talking, because you ain't even like her. And Morgan's like, man, Bella, you ain't even being fair or whatever. And Zeke, Ethic's father, you know, Ethic and his pa don't really fuck with one another like that. He tell everybody to be quiet. That's a decision that man has to make, because that's his wife. Ain't nobody else is in on this decision. So Ethic's like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take her off. So they all go in there and they take her off. But then, and they watch the monitors go blank. Whew, I'm sorry, y'all. I just got a flashback. So they watch the monitors go blank, and then Mara says she feels a pulse, and then Morgan feels a pulse too. So she tells Morgan to start CPR on her, and Morgan is starting. Then Mara, Ethic tell them to stop, because when y'all you know, you give CPR, it's a harrowing ordeal or experience. And so when Ethic sees just how much pressure Morgan is delivering to her chest, you know, he tells them to stop. So he stops, and they see her vitals come back alive. And fortunately, Alani comes back to life, but unfortunately, she doesn't know or remember who everyone is. However, she knows that she feels an incredible amount of love for Ethic's kids, and the fact that she refers to Ethic's kids as his kids or your kids bothers Ethic, because since they've met way back in book 1 when they went to the movie theater, she's always referred to or looked at those kids as her kids. And that's why I'm gonna stop talking about Ethic them, right? Because I'm like 15 minutes in this video. I feel like I'm rambling. So let's get to Messiah and Morgan. Messiah, he's still going to therapy with Kadeem, but he'll love flirt with Kadeem. Let's just call a thing or two about a thing or two. But he's having a session, and then Blue comes in the midst of his session, and you know, she wants to she start probing Blue and about her relationship with Iman. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I don't like Kadeen as a therapist. Y'all know I'm in school to be a social worker, and no therapist and all of my teachers are black. None of them talk and act like this to this lady when I sit in and proctor them on their meetings. None of them act like her. And so just everything about Kadeen I don't like, right? But you know, she says to Messiah, you know, Kadeen says to Morgan that she got to be special or something like that to allow both her and Morgan to exist at the same time. And she said, oh, or I got to have some kind of energy to allow Messiah and Iman to exist at the same time. And Messiah gets tired, like, man, I don't want to talk about this nigga up in my session or whatever. So they switched the questions and switched gears, and she asked Blue something up. I'm sorry, y'all, I can't remember off the top of my head. And unfortunately, Blue gets a call from her son's school, so she doesn't have to answer that. And then she says something that, y'all, I haven't read no reviews, but I bet everybody went wild at this next thing. She said, Kadeen says to Messiah, you know, I met Blue. I would love to see Morgan. I want to see this flower that's distracting you from the plant. And I don't know why. When she said that flower that's distracting you from the plant, I just rolled my eyes like, girl, shut up. It ain't even that deep what she said, but I know that people probably is going crazy. I'm trying to refrain from reading other people's reviews so that my own review won't be biased, right? But I know that line got all the girls on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter probably talking, right? But then eventually Messiah has a meetup with Issa, and you know, he tell Issa, you out here switching sides, and Issa's like, he's staying out of it, and he's not finna have no pussy problem between y'all two or whatever. And he was like, well, it look like me, you doing that is really you switching sides. And Messiah is like, Issa is telling him that, you know, Meek ain't never put no dirt on his name. He took care of that girl, and he would probably be married to Morgan if Messiah hadn't came back from the dead, and that Morgan and Issa made life better for all of them. Like that, you know, he considers his kids, Messiah's kids, as his niece and nephew. They go to late nights at Chuck E. Cheese, taking his son to basketball game. What the fuck he look like trying to send bullets your way after calling your children his niece and nephews. And then he starts telling them that, you know, Arya and Morgan is about to go on tour, is trying to audition for some tour or whatever, and that Stiletto Gang isn't just some college dance troupe, like they legit. And Messiah, on his old punk ass baby daddy bullshit, talking about, nah, Mo ain't finna go on no shake your ass tour. She need to be home trying to be a mother. So what, if she work at Walmart, you know, that's her being a mother, going on tour ain't gonna be her being a mother. I don't know. He just started stupid or whatever. And he's like, man, he don't care about none that girl do, long as you know, everybody, long as they know where they stand at each other and they can trust each other. He don't care about what Arya got going on. Right? And Messiah like, nah, that's called Arya in the moment. He said he make a mental note to talk to Morgan about it. So, you know, Messiah tried to convince Morgan to go to therapy with him, and Mo is like, nah, man, she done been in enough therapy that she know it takes a lot to bear her soul, and she don't need Messiah's therapist trying to probe all up inside of her mind like that. And Messiah, he's all, you know, kind of mad about it or whatever. So she offers him to take the twins with her, and twins with him for overnight, you know, to soften the fact that she said no to his therapy. Well, she didn't say no. She just said she'll think about it. And he takes that as a consolation prize. But, you know, Yara don't really fuck with Messiah like that. So she say, can I stay with you, mommy? And she's like, no, baby. You're going to miss the ice cream contest your dad and Messiah has if you stay with me. And then Easy asks, can he go? But, you know, he asked Morgan, will Alana be okay if he go? And she's like, yeah, she don't think Alana would want you to be, you know, just crying and stressed about her. So Easy and them go with Messiah. And he's supposed to be babysitting, but y'all know Easy ain't nothing but like 10, 11, 12 in this party. He ain't really no good babysitter. But Messiah overhears, Messiah bonds with Yara because he really wants to bond with this girl. It's so difficult for him to bond with her. So he plays with Yara while Easy takes Messiah downstairs and they play together. But later on that night, he hears Easy crying about his mom, and he's like, you know, he don't know if Easy got another day with his twins, with his mother, the way that he has another day with his twins. So he take the little man on back. So, fast forward a little bit, Morgan get ready to go to Miami with Aria, and she takes the kids over to Messiah's house. Oh my God, Messiah worked on my goddamn nerves in this book, y'all. So she texts him, letting him know she outside. He doesn't answer her, so she gets outside and retrieves the key from inside the place and bring the kids inside. And he got, he looking at his paperwork. She's like, "You didn't hear me come in, text you?" He said, "Yeah, I got it." And he looks up and thinks to himself, that's always where he pictured her coming in the house with their children older and find her with their kids in tow, right? And she tells him she's going out of town to go on tour or whatever. She's excited about it, and he starts an argument with her, tell her how she just gonna be out there shaking her ass and for nothing, that these people just trying to pimp her. And she was like, "Boy, I make $1,000, $100,000 to step foot on stage." And he was like, "Man, I got that upstairs. Sit your ass down. You don't need to go nowhere." And then he just cuts into her. They get into an argument. They basically argue throughout the whole book, y'all. They get into an argument. And she tells him he feeds her breadcrumbs, don't want to tell her the truth about nothing. And he start arguing with her about Meek and that old bullshit of how he's willing to let that go. Oh, y'all, I'm sorry. This book was such a drain. It was fun. And then he goes low and say, "Yeah, you gonna take your ass out there trying to believe everybody. You just insecure, and everybody can see that you're an insecure ass female. And when something happen to you, like that shit with Lucas, you gonna be calling him, and all of that just obliterates that girl whole feelings and put her in a bad space for the shield counsel." But she doesn't. She'll like, "Well, it's okay. You ain't got to tell me nothing. Have fun with your kids, and I'll call the kids later." And Messiah is torn between going after her and apologizing or having another talk with her, or going in the room where his children are, and he decides to go in the room with his kids. So Morgan mind is all messed up while she's in Miami. When she gets on the bus, and she tells, not a bus, but a beautiful private jet. So she tells Aria that she might just leave after the performance because she should be planning her kid's 3rd birthday and not going on tour or going on a performance. Aria's like, "Man, fuck all that mommy guilt that you feeling like you still gotta live like they got a daddy, they in good hands." And Morgan's like, "Well, Aria don't understand because she don't have kids." I don't know. Girl, that girl do understand this nigga trying to trap you, and you don't want to acknowledge what Messiah is doing, right? Let me take a sip, y'all. So they get to the hotels, and Morgan get all this curbside service, right? She has finds a bathing suit in her size, and she goes down and gets her a massage. They refresh her nails and toes, bring over her drink and all that type of stuff. And then white boy Nick and Aria shows up, and she was like, "Girl, I don't know who ordered all this. Or who are we dancing for?" But she's loving it because she hasn't had any time to pamper herself since her children have been born. And they start dancing. Y'all, I was so happy when they started dancing to FINFREE. I don't know the words to that song, y'all. But y'all know I needed a good dance routine because we didn't get no dance routine in Butterfly 4. It was somber throughout. So I was happy to see them out there getting it in the pool, her, white boy Nick, and Aria. Then kind of find out, y'all, Issa and Meek is in there doing their thing, and Meek glances at her. Then he has the stuff away because he can feel the distance too. But Meek is starting there to chop it up, to chop business, and then go on by his way. So later on at the performance, Aria tells Morgan, oh, I'm gonna skip some of that stuff in that performance, y'all, because something fun happened. Hopefully we get a preview of that later on. But anyway, Aria tells Morgan that Meek is here, but she didn't want to tell her. And Morgan's like, "Bitch, give me the address before I kill you, blah, blah, blah." So Morgan makes it through the 30-minute set, 27-minute set. And then she goes outside to catch an Uber to get to Meek. And while she's out there, she meets Mo Diamond. Now, Mo Diamond is from the Cartel series, y'all, which is awesome. Y'all know I love when characters cross over in the same universe. But I haven't read none of the Cartels lately. I feel like the last one I read was book 5. And Kira from Miss Kira TV and I was going to do a read along. And I started reading the books and I got bored. But I do plan on finishing the book because I bought all of them like a year ago or 2 years ago and still haven't read them all. But anyway, she meets Mo Diamond, and when Mo Diamond finds out that she's Ethic's daughter, you know, he was like, man, you ain't even cute no more. I don't even want you with your ugly ass. But he still gives her a ride to Meek's spot and be like, oh, you with me? That's my nigga, whatever. And whenever you in Miami, just drop my name and everything is on him. So she talks with Meek about, you know, did you really only talk to me because Messiah said so? And Meek's like, yeah. But Meek is a finesse king, and he and Morgan really love her. So he was like, you know what you and I have going on. Don't let nobody, like, kick dirt on that. So they talk or whatever, and then she get his car keys, and she leave his ass at the club. But unfortunately, Issa and the crew hawks her down, and she gets in the car with him, and they actually talk and have them a little discussion, and, you know, they make love. It was such a beautiful love scene. I needed it. So then Libby throws a curveball in that. Meek get a call, and Morgan old fast ass decides to answer that man's phone. And Libby say, yeah, bitch, I'm pregnant, and what? And so her and Meek start arguing, and they called it, she called it quits. She tell him, you know, she knows that his blood children is going to always come first before her and her children, so this is it. And he was like, man, don't do this ain't that, you know, he got to find out. And he didn't even talk to the girl, and this and that. And the third morning, like, she don't want to hear that. So when she get ready to board the plane to go back to Flint, you know, she and Meek have a final goodbye, and she goes back all despondent and upset, and she and Messiah try to have another conversation. Surprisingly, they didn't argue throughout this conversation, but Morgan did apologize to him if she ever hurt him. And she was about to be honest with him, and Messiah's like, you know, he don't want to be honest with her about nothing. But Messiah does acknowledge that he should have came back to Morgan off the strength of Morgan, that he understands why she didn't tell him about the children, because he and her knew what their relationship was, and it should have been her telling him that she was pregnant should have been what kept him in check, because he knows all the things that he promised her that they promised each other, which was beautiful, right? And then he gives her the house that was originally supposed to be hers, but Blue never gave it to her, right? Because she had her own thing going on. Even though I feel like that was bullshit, Blue didn't want to get that girl that house because she didn't want to get that girl that house, which we're going to find out in a second. So, you know, he leaves and asks her because she comes to the grand opening of his funeral home business that night. Y'all, look at my hair. I don't care. I got natural hair. So she says, you know, she'll try to be there, but then she realizes that the baby, Yara, is sick, and she asks Messiah that they go swimming or something, right? Because Yara is prone to whatever. And Messiah says no, they was only around daddy's friend. And Morgan gets upset, but she doesn't ask Messiah any more questions because she knows that Messiah could tell when something is going on. So eventually she calls Messiah and asks him, was the baby sick in it this weekend? And she was like, you know, no more than usual. She was just grumpy and mean as usual. And she was like, you know, we might not come because she's not feeling good. If she's not feeling good, we might probably won't be able to come. And she says that she'll really try to come. So, let's fast forward, y'all, to the grand opening. Y'all, when I tell you the shit went down at this grand opening, the shit went down at the grand opening. So, Issa pops up and Messiah, at the grand opening of the funeral home, right? So, Issa pops up and Messiah asks, where's your girl? And he's like, fuck that bitch, because before the grand opening, Issa and Arya has an argument because all throughout the book, y'all, Arya has been trying to tell her, you know, she got out of the game. She got, she got other things going on, and she doesn't want to be tied down to him, and she doesn't want sex to be rough, and she started saying that she only did that stuff for him, like trying to be his down ass bitch and do threesomes for him because she didn't want him to leave. And he's like, man, them shits ain't for me, them for you. You know, you better let them touch me. They are all for you. She's like, nah, it's all for you. And, you know, she walks out on him. So, you know, Issa's kind of in a little foul mood, but Issa a solid one. I'm going to give him that. Even though I like his little slight remarks about my boo Morgan. But, you know, so back to the grand opening, he's like, fuck that bitch. And Messiah say, yeah, I feel you. Oh, but then Kadeen, Messiah's therapist, comes in, and they're having a moment, and she's telling him congratulations, but they kind of flirting or whatever, because you know, he basically asked her out by asking her to come to this thing, right? So then Morgan enters with Messiah, and she sees their interaction, and she's like, oh, hell no, I know this nigga ain't tried me, got me coming up in here trying to embarrass me. And she insults Kadeen. Kadeen is like, hello, it's so nice to meet you, Morgan. I've heard so much about you. And Morgan's like, yeah, well, I ain't heard shit about you, and your dress you could use some more makeup or something, or 2 inches on them heels. And Messiah's like, man, chill out. This is my therapist or whatever. And so Kadim's like, well, I should be going. And Masari and her have a little interaction. And Morgan's like, oh, that's the one that they had her that's the girl that Masari told her about earlier. So Morgan is heated because she feel like Messiah brought her here to try to embarrass her. So she was like, how long have you been in therapy or something other like that? And he tried to say, man, you just trying to get the shit on short. And she's like, so Masari will be around them. And she's like, so my children will be around her? And he was like, man, fuck all that shit. The way you parading niggas around in front of my kids, don't ask me no shit like that or whatever. And she's like, oh, so you really just brought me here to embarrass me or something like that? And it wasn't all that shit about seeing your family and your kids need to see you win, and you just want to bring her here to embarrass you. He like, man, it ain't so fun. The rabbit got the gun because I've been watching you do your thing for months or whatever. And then he asked her where's his daughter. That's when Ethic appears, and Ethic congratulate him and all that type of stuff. And y'all know I think this video is gonna be about 40 minutes. I hope y'all watch it. But Ethic is like, this is just a start of many, and you're gonna got a few more open, and he's excited for him. So then she tells Messiah realizes that Yara has a little snotty nose and she's warm. So Morgan's like, yeah, we'll probably be leaving soon. You got all the support that you need here. So that's when Ethic takes a cue that he's gonna go ahead and bring the car around and tell Morgan to wrap that up and come out front so they can go ahead and leave. So her and Messiah starts arguing a little more about things, and he was like, Morgan, you be on your bullshit and all of that. And the third, and she was like, yeah, well, who's gonna come in next? Your hidden baby mama. And he says something like, if your ass would've, and Masari's like, hey, because he's holding Masari, use nice words with mommy. And so he tell her, get my children home safely and we'll talk later. I think he said we'll talk later. So she leaves out of there place, and as she's walking out the door, she and Blue bumps into each other, and Morgan is like on fire, y'all. Like she says, Morgan is like, oh, Mo, and Mo is like, that's all you got to say is it's been almost 3 years, bitch, and all that type of stuff. And Morgan is like, I came to you and you want to tell me where the fuck he at. You kept him away from me. And she was like, he wanted those. I was respecting his wishes. And Morgan like, man, you came over my house. I cried to you. You talked about your Iman is Messiah is your Iman or some shit like that. Look like your Messiah is your Messiah to me. And she recognizes the matching tattoos. And Blue is like, bitch, you ain't the only one who loved him. We was all hurting over here. And you would just love to say that me and him did. Hold up, y'all. Hold up. Because I want to get this argument right, y'all. Because that argument gave me all the life I needed. Hold up, y'all. I'm finna do this argument one by one. So Morgan like, it's been almost 3 years and you don't have shit to say. And Blue said, I don't really know what you want me to say, Mo. And she said, bitch, how about I'm sorry? How about I wish I could do things differently? How about I should have told you about the council? Blue like, I'm only respecting his wishes. He ain't want no one to know, Morgan. Morgan like, bitch, I'm not anyone. And then she sees Blue's tattoo and all the blue clock blocking hit her. And she was like, it was you, wasn't you? You was the one that was with him, right? And that's when Issa come outside. And she was like, I don't got time for this, right? And she moved Morgan like, Blue, Issa, get your nephew. She about to mollywop this whole right. And she was like, bitch, make time for it. I just wasn't know anybody. And Morgan was like, so how long you been fucking on my nigga or whatever? And she was like, yeah. Blue was like, yeah, you would like for me to say that we've been doing some old grimy shit just to try to justify the nasty shit that you've been doing with me. And Morgan was like, bitch, keep his name out your mouth. Ho, don't you ever speak on him or something other. And then Issa like, man, Morgan, come on, man, nephew out here, let's just go. And Blue get the balls up in her, some cojones, and like, nah, Issa, let her hood rat ass go. She just what I thought. She just what I thought. She was the type to fight in front of his kids or whatever. And Issa like, man, B, shut up. When she pays you, don't say shit now. And Morgan, Blue goes, man, I would never fight over Messiah. And if I did, she better know I'm pressure. And Morgan's like, she kind of defeated. She like, man, yeah, I guess that's the problem I always had. So, right, which she did. But she goes on in the car because Issa saying she gonna fuck you up, and she's steady yapping, and she goes on in the car, and by the time she gets the kids strapped in the car, Messiah's running out because Issa done went in there and told him what's going on, and he tries to talk to Morgan. Ethel's like, man, let her go. I can tell you fully embrace being a father, because the best thing for you to do right now is walk away in front of your kids. And they go on this little diatribe. I'm sorry, y'all. That exchange between Issa and Ethel, I was just over most of the stuff that he was saying. But basically he was saying, nigga, you need to deal with your own trauma before you come out here and try to be here for my daughter. And giving her that's a house, that's a route. She'll be there tonight, but she ain't staying with you. She get her own place, because that's a form of control. Go get your shit together and then come back here before you try to be with Morgan, because you mishandled her too many times. Finally, Ethel, stand up for your fucking daughter, because all throughout this butterfly series, Ethic has been Team Messiah. He ain't been no motherfucking father. Because I'm going to tell you something. Me and my pa don't get along like that. But my pa would never have let Ethic Messiah get away with slapping me so hard that I had to have surgery. And neither would my step-pa. And I can tell you that now. So I was proud of him standing up for that girl in that moment and reminding him, man, I don't need you. You have to strengthen these kids. Because throughout this series, y'all, it's sure been like Ethic is Team Messiah. Y'all let me continue. So he got on in the, and Messiah goes on in the house, and Morgan goes on home with the kids. And you know, he and Blue have it out. He tell Blue, you know, yeah, you should have walked away. You can't tell a nigga you love him, then cause static with the woman that has full say so over my kids. That shit ain't gonna ever happen. And Blue's like, yeah, I should have walked away. So because she got real living kids with you, that makes a difference. He was like, yeah. And Blue's like, she always gets the best of you and I get the worst. And Messiah like, man, girl, you talking crazy. Bitch, I give you the good of me. That girl got the very least. I lied to that girl. I cheated on her. I'm still lying to that girl, scared to show her who the fuck I really am right now. Or whatever. And you know, like, so if Morgan wanna put a little chip on her dip, I don't know, y'all, dip on her chip, she can do that because of what I did to her. But you can't ever try to disrespect her. If I find out you trying to purposely push her nose in some shit to purposely get up under her skin, that's a wrap between me and you. And I'm like, say that shit, Messiah, because we needed to hear him say that. Because y'all remember in book 4, he made that clear distinction between Morgan and Blue, where, yeah, man, I just fucked Morgan, but I made love to Blue. So I was happy to see him do that in this book. So Blue was like, can we just get out of here and go somewhere and talk? And they go to, you know, Blue got pregnant by him and lost the baby. They go to the cemetery to talk with the baby. I mean, to have their final goodbye. And, you know, Messiah told her, you know, he can't be with her because it would hurt Morgan to see them two together in a way that it wouldn't hurt as much seeing Messiah talk to another woman, which is real. And Blue do some old low down dirty shit. Y'all, when I review Luke's 1 and 2, because I read them in February, we gonna get into some things about Blue old scandalous ass. So, you know, he's telling, you know, y'all, they can't be together, but, you know, he will always beat up for her. He just can't beat up for the everyday shit. You know, all that other stuff, it's a wrap between them, but he'll definitely be there for her when time's needed. And that's when he gets a, so then they get back in the car. Oh, but hold up, back up. Blue gonna say, yeah, her seeing us together will hurt her the way that seeing her with a meek hurts you. Low down dirty. And Messiah's like, disgusted and surprised at that, and Blue realized she played her cards wrong, because Messiah cared and loved her even though she was an old ragged ass crack hoe willing to do anything for some rocks. He still loved her, so she don't know why she thought that he would love Morgan, unless when he loved her at his lowest, he would love Mo despite all the little foul shit, low down dirty thing that she been doing with me. Even I don't feel like it's low down dirty, y'all. They thought Messiah was dead, okay? So they get back in the car. Messiah realizes he got a call saying that, you know, he got to go to the hospital that Yar had a seizure. She's sick. So let's fast forward. You know, Yar ends up being really sick. She has a seizure, and Arya has, after she gets home for the funeral, Morgan takes her, not the funeral, back up, Brittany. After she gets home from the funeral home opening, Morgan checks her fever, and it's like 104 and then 106, and she's about to go to the ambulance, you know, call 911. Arya picks up, and she tells Arya, you know, floor this son of a bitch to the ER because her baby's having a seizure. And she calls Ethic, and Ethic tells her not to answer the phone for nobody. Do not leave the hospital until she sees his face or whatever, whatever. And she tells him that she's having a seizure and asks him, could he please find Messiah, because she's calling Messiah, but Messiah isn't answering. So now we're at the hospital, y'all. So at the Messiah pulls up to the hospital with Blue in tow. Morgan loses it. She beats the dog shit out of that girl because she's like, bitch, you gonna have to fight over this nigga every time I see you, hoe. And that's on Mary Had a Little Lamb. Right, because she remember that Blue said at the funeral home that she will never have to fight over Messiah, and she better know she pressure. So Morgan beat the shit off of her, and Issa and Arya just sit there and watch. I ain't gonna lie, I was surprised Arya didn't jump in, but Arya understood that was a fight that Morgan needed to get off. So Messiah finally gets them apart, and he said, Issa, the fuck, nigga, help me get her up out of here. So he carries Morgan to the bathroom, screaming and hollering, and Morgan's like, man, I can't believe you brought this bitch. I've been calling you all day long, you and this bitch. You can leave. I don't need you here. Leave with your best friend. He was like, man, shorty, think, what's going on with my daughter? She's like, nah, bye. So then they come out, and the doctor is security, and Arya is there, and the doctor tried to tell Morgan, we got to make you leave. And Messiah talks to the security, and Morgan talks to the doctor like, man, it's just been a long day. Someone was here that shouldn't have been here. And finally the doctor tells them that they're going to have to take a biopsy. Y'all, this video is 41 minutes long. That they're going to have to take a biopsy of Yara's lymph nodes because she's presenting with Hodgkin's lymphoma. And Messiah is like, oh, you gave my daughter cancer. And that's where it is at, y'all. And now the author's note at the end of the book says, oh, I reported Yali. How could y'all not see it all the times that she was sick and stuff like that? Now, if this was the big reveal that she was talking about, we couldn't see, I feel like that's bullshit, because it wasn't obvious that the little girl was sick. Like, as far back as Christmas with Aquaforce, you always said that the little girl was a little behind and more fussier than Masari. So I ain't take all the times that the little girl had been sick throughout the book as her being sick. I just took it as her being a little behind and having a little disability. I know that might sound ignorant, because she's deaf. It's not a disability like, maybe cerebral palsy. But anyway, that's how it was presented us. So to me, the little girl having symptoms of cancer, or maybe having cancer, isn't right there in our face, y'all. I am sorry, because that's not how it presented. No, she was just sick, and even in the book, Morgan said that whenever one got sick, the other one got sick right after. So to me, that wasn't a sign of cancer. Like, little kids are always sick. Except for my God, baby. He's 5 months, so he's so sweet and perfect. He's only been sick once. He had a UTI, but he has not even had a cold. Maybe because he doesn't go to daycare. He just be at my house or his mama's house. Anyway, y'all. Like I said, y'all, I was really disappointed in this book because so much of the book focused on Ethic and Alani. Y'all, it's more to Alani's story, but you have to read the book to get the rest of that. And not enough to me was focused on Morgan, Arya, and the crew, and even Bella and Henny. Even though y'all know I don't really care to read about Bella and Henny's little story, but I was still looking forward to reading something from them. Like maybe Henny write her a letter, or Bella writes Henny a letter. But the book wasn't what I expected it to be. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Like, it was too much focus on Ethic and Alani. We did learn what happened to Bash's mom, and even I feel like that was bullshit, because I thought that more about their connection to Ethic would have been revealed in this book, and it wasn't. Y'all, I am a huge stickler. Like, questions presented in the last book should be answered in the next book, and like I said, like, Morgan is still questioning. None of the questions for the characters have been answered from Ethic 4. Like, Morgan's still up here questioning him about who is Wozy, about this plot to kill Ethic, who was with him with cancer, how could he leave her? And it's like, we're 5 books in, and she still don't know that Wozy is his sister. She had to find out that Mizan wasn't his actual brother, but yet all of her skeletons is out there. And what I will say, y'all, is very true to life, whereas men can get away with doing a lot of stuff, but everything about women are always revealed. Y'all know this big thing on social media is women need to be accountable and stuff like that. But it's like, man, when we gonna hold Messiah accountable? I don't want to read that in a book where he's continuously getting off over and over. What else about the book? I did love Issa and Arya's moments, but I kind of feel like, you know, Arya asking him to get out the game. Girl, that was so tired. Her just all up in that man business. I would have been, you know, booking some shows and stuff like that. He never stopped you from living your dreams. I really don't know what Arya really wants from him. Do she want him to be out of the game and go legit? Or do she just, I don't know. I really wasn't clear on what Arya wanted. Maybe y'all can tell me down in the comments. Morgan and Messiah arguing. Y'all, they argue all throughout the book. And they both had some vicious comebacks. But one second. They both had vicious comebacks. But I was just really over them arguing after the argument they had at the house after Alana gave birth. It was like he just kept on picking at that girl and all that. Oh, you provoked me. That's what men who don't got no control says. And, you know, even in the book, he said, you know, he didn't think, he just reacted. And it's like everything you've done since going back with that girl, you don't think about, since reappearing in that girl's life, you don't think about it. You just act. That's all you do. You just react. You don't think about nothing. From slapping that girl when she was trying to stop you and me from fighting. Now, I do say Morgan shouldn't have been trying to break up that. Let them niggas fight. You a woman, stay out of that. However, you don't think about nothing. You know, you find out that the twins is yours. You don't think about how traumatizing it could be for you to snatch them children up that don't even know you and take them kids away from that girl. You don't think about how traumatizing that could be for that girl, for you taking her kids. She don't know you. She already don't trust you. Then, you bring Blue to the hospital, talking about, oh, you didn't think, you just reacted. Ethics said it. You didn't even embrace being a father. You don't even embrace being in that little girl's life, that young woman's life. And all you do is react. You don't think about nothing. I'm so over Messiah and his shenanigans, y'all. I was fine with thinking that he was dead because y'all remember he died right in the Ethics series. And then remember in Christmas when Aquaphor is that rapper Day Night showed up. He made an appearance in this book, y'all. So I was fine with Messiah being dead because I was thinking that maybe we was going to see a rivalry between Day Night, Meek, and Bash, because I did root for Bash, y'all. I thought that Bash was a good guy for some reason. I really thought he was going to be a good guy. But even Bash, I thought we was going to find out more about why his family had it out for them so much. I mean, I do know that Ethic killed Jacob, so I understand them wanting revenge on Ethic per se, but I ain't really understand why, if he really loved this girl, why would he do what he did? So I don't know. I wanted to learn more. We did learn a couple of things about Bash. Spoiler, Bash is killed before his mother covered it up. But that was it. We didn't learn who the fuck Allison was or nothing, right? I was thinking that we was gonna learn that Allison was like a cousin of or a niece of Justine's, but Justine didn't fuck with her mother after her mama tried to sell her to Sherman or something. I don't know. But I'm looking forward to the next book, y'all. But again, I'm not gonna buy it on her website, y'all. I refuse to spend $35 on a book 2-3 years in advance. But I do think like she really gotta come with it, because I feel like this book was like 447 pages, and I really only felt like maybe 223 or 176 of the pages were relevant to the synopsis of the book, because so much stuff wasn't. Excuse me. So much of that dialogue, it was just really them arguing 24/7. And y'all, I really love this author's work, and I really look forward to her books. But y'all, this book really, it just left me disappointed. It just left me freaking to the fact that I read it twice, but I didn't even tell my cousin that I got the book. Well, that she can read the book on my Kindle, because she uses my Kindle. But I didn't even tell her that because I'm just so disappointed in this book. But I want you to hear you guys' thoughts. Like, what do y'all think of the book? What are y'all expectations for her next book? And I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the video. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.